Hour number 3 already. Have you listened to every segment so far today? If you have, text me and let me know. 208-424-9300. If you haven't and you're just hopping in your rig, heading home on a Thursday night, well, you're in for a special treat too. We'll talk Tyson Degenhart, Boise State basketball, hop on some soapboxes, and maybe a legend who is actually participating in his sport today. And we'll talk about what that means and how you feel about that situation. So it's Prater, it's me, Ballgame, JP, we're Idaho Sports Talk. And Prater, let's start this thing off. They won last night, Boise State men's basketball, just by 2 points. But hey, road game, Fort Collins, whatever, say what you want. Leon Rice will say it's every place is impossible to play in this league, and they got the win. And Tyson Degenhart, despite being in foul trouble early, still led all scorers last night. And I don't know, man. I got such a man crush on T-Deggy, and I love watching this kid play.
Yeah, I do too. And I wish he didn't have to play center. I wish he could focus on being an offensive, efficient offensive machine. But I really enjoy watching him play as well. And just another nice long list of Boise State basketball players who have been entertaining to watch. So, Boise State basketball hasn't always been the most successful as a team over the years, but they give us tons of individual stars that we've enjoyed watching over the years, and certainly he's on that list.
Okay. We talked about this in our pre-show meeting, kind of the all-time BSU team, top 5 or whatever it is, no particular position, not a starting lineup, just kind of we're talking the legendary names of this program. And we all agreed on we have 4 no-brainers. You cannot have an all-time great Boise State basketball conversation without mentioning, I'll say, Chris Childs, who was a 3-time first-team All-Big Sky player. I think he was the player of the year of the conference tournament, Prater. Arnell Jones was the Big Sky player of the year. Roberto Bergeson was the Big West player of the year and a 2-time first-teamer. And the all-time leading scorer, Tanaka Beard, shockingly did not win a Player of the Year award, but he won a Big Sky tournament MVP and 3-time first-team performer. And I forgot, Chris Childs was a Big Sky Player of the Year. Those are our no-brainers, huh?
Yeah, Marks and Hutchinson also won Conference Players of the Year, and they can be part of the conversation. But yeah, Childs, Jones, Berto, and Beard, we think are the 4. If there was what's that? That's Mount Rushmore. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Boise State basketball, it would be Childs, Jones, Berto, and Beard right now.
I think if you had in Boise State, you need to do this, guys. If there were some banners that hung for the elite players, you would go to the X and you would see banners of jerseys of hanging of those 4. They could not leave them out. And you were right. You said Hutch. You said Marks. You can throw in Drimmick, Abe Jackson, Jessup.
But they weren't Conference Players of the Year.
None of those guys were.
No, the other 2 were just Conference Players of the Year.
None of those guys were. You're right. So I guess the conversation is, Prater, what the heck does Tyson Degenhart need to do to pass the aforementioned next group of Marks, Drimmick, Hutch, Abe, Coker, DA, Kobe, Jessup, all those guys? Because he's probably in that group or close to it.
He's approaching that group.
What does Tyson Degenhart have to do to be the 5th Beatle?
Keep being himself. Just keep doing what he's doing. Now, I know you want more detailed answers than that.
Thank you.
I got 5 boxes I need him to check. I don't know if you want to go through every single one of these. If you want to go back and forth, I think you have your wish list. But
I do.
There's a lot of things that he has to do. As solid as his career is right now, his boxes of to check are very, very long, but they're all doable. And if he just keeps doing what he's doing right now, he's going to get there. I don't know if he's going to be the 5th greatest. I don't know if he's going to join this list or that secondary list of great players that quite haven't broken through yet, but he's certainly heading in that direction. That's very exciting. And let's see if we can get him there, Ballgame.
What do you guys think? 208-424-9300. JP, get ready on the other side of the glass here. What would you guys think? You're the Boise State fan. And what is Tyson Degenhart? What boxes does he need to check for you to join that all-time list? And you have to mention Tyson with the Childs, Bertos, Beards, and Joneses. Give us your suggestions, Prater. I'm going to start. Well, he has to at some point. Okay, I'll just start. He needs to play all 4 years here. Okay, now, the only person on our list who didn't was Arnell Jones. But the 2 years he played were so stinking spectacular You had to put him on the list. He was the best player in the Big Sky. I think first for me is play all 4 years, because I think some of this other stuff is going to come. I don't know if we put him on list, and maybe you will. If Tyson plays 3 years here and then says, you know what, it's my dream, I'm going to go play my 4th year at Gonzaga or at Duke or at a huge basketball power. If he does that, it'll be hard maybe to put him on this list, but maybe that'll be part of the reason you do put him on the list. He was so good, he took advantage of his era, and he played his last year at North Carolina.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. I need him to play all 4 seasons.
He's got to be only a Bronco.
Yep, only a Bronco, and that was the first criteria on my list. You've got to finish out your career. You've got to play all 4 seasons. I'm not worried about losing Tyson Degenhart to the NBA. We'll talk about that down the road. And that has nothing to do with his talent and probably everything to do with a tweener body moving into that league. So transferring, I don't think he's that kind of guy. He's not into that kind of DNA. I think Tyson Degenhart stays here for 4 years because I just don't see him having professional options that are going to lure him away from Boise State, nor do I think that he would let himself be lured away from Boise State. He loves it here. He appreciates what's happened here. His 4 best friends from high school are here. He's created an environment and a bubble for himself. I think he loves Boise, and I think he's going to be here all 4 years. So, in my opinion, consider that box checked.
What else does he have to do? Give me your next bet.
Mountain West Player of the Year.
He has to win the League Player of the Year.
He's got to win a Mountain West Player of the Year at some point. And right now, he's fighting to scramble to get on the first team. He's not a no-brainer lock to make it the first team. Certainly not a lock. He's not gonna win Player of the Year this year. But moving forward, moving into next year, moving into a senior year, I expect Tyson Degenhart to be one of the most dominating, if not the most dominating player in the Mountain West. I fully expect Tyson Degenhart to win a Mountain West Player of the Year award, but I have to have that in order for him to reach this kind of status.
That's on my list too, and it has to be. And I don't even need to expand anything because everybody on our list, and you know, and Prater, you can talk because we went back and forth on this. You know, I had Derek Marks really close, if not in that group, and you felt what? It's just there just wasn't that connection in the Marks era for you to not have him on this. He won Mountain West Player of the Year. Derek Marks did. I believe he's the only player who's won that award for Boise State who's not on our list of 4.
Chandler Hutchison.
Oh, Chandler Hutchison won Mountain West Player of the Year too. So those 2. Okay. And you just think they just didn't resonate. They don't have that legendary like folk status that the 4 had before.
I think that's a good way to put it in terms of the connection with the community, in terms of the popularity. We're seeing that develop at a really high rate with Tyson Degenhart. They're still talking about Chris Childs, Arnell Jones, Roberto Bergeson, Tanaka Beard. Those players connected with the community. You bought tickets to come out and watch those 4 individuals, although they were surrounded by some pretty good teams and did some pretty nice things. So, yeah, there's great players in there in terms of the Derek Markses of the world and certainly plenty of others. Derek Alston, you named a lot of them in the beginning of this segment. But I just, JP brought up a good point in our meeting this morning. Nick Duncan, who I would never, ever put in terms of one of the top 5, 10, 15 players at Boise State, that dude connected with the community. I just didn't see Derek Marks, Alston, Hutchinson. I didn't see those guys make that connection with the community, and I didn't see the community make that connection with them at an elite level that we're going to be talking about them from 20, 25 years from now. I think Chandler Hutchison has that. I think Tyson Degenhart has that kind of potential.
Definitely. So we both agree he has to stay a Bronco for his whole collegiate career. He has to win at some point a Mountain West Player of the Year award where he's the best player in the league. Is there anything else, any other boxes you have, maybe statistical compilations, maybe some type of team thing? What else do you think Tyson Degenhart needs to do to join this conversation, if not one day lead this conversation?
I got 3 more boxes I need to check. One of them is statistically, I need him to be a top 5 scorer in the history. I need him to join the 1,900-point club at Boise State and maybe become the first Boise State basketball player to ever score 2,000 points in a career.
Hasn't happened.
Right now, he's on a pace for about 1,900 and change. If you kind of look at his stats right now, as a career right now, what 1 3/4 seasons in the book, he's averaging less than 12 points a game.
I know. Yeah.
So we're starting to see him push 18 on a somewhat consistent basis. I need that to be a major consistent basis, and I need that to be the standard next year and the year after that. If that becomes the standard and he hits those, he's going to join the 1,900-point club. There's only 4 of them: Beard, Drimmick, Connor, and Marks. That puts him into rarefied air, and he came here to be a scorer. He's established himself as a scorer, and I need to see him continue to be a scorer. So you need to be one of the top 5 scorers in school history. And if you get yourself into that 2,000-point club where no Boise State player's ever gone, just automatically lock that sucker onto that list.
For me too, if he could get into the 700 rebound club, because he's a scorer, but he's also a rebounder. That's Jason Ellis, Ryan Watkins, Bruce Bolden, and Trent Johnson. 700 total rebounds. I think he's on pace to get there too if he doesn't get hurt. And he's going to probably, this guy's stats you'd think are certainly scoring, but I think rebounding too. I think they're going to continue to get better. Maybe not if they find a true big and he doesn't have to play in the middle, but you would think he's probably going to average 4, 5, 6 rebounds most years, which should, if he plays 30 plus games a year, he's going to be on that 700 rebound club too.
Yeah, I'd fight that one a little bit. I mean, if he gets that, that'd be great. If he can pull off that, but I need him to focus on being a scorer. I want him to be a scorer. Rebounds aren't sexy. I know that's what Leon Rice wants. He wants tough rebounding teams, and that's how he gets success. I totally get that. But I'm selfish. I want to see Tyson Degenhart. Go ahead and get yourself your serviceable 4, 5, 6, 7 rebounds a game. But I need the 20 points first.
I don't think he's going to pass Tanaka Beard in scoring. Maybe he will. That would be special. But I think he can pass Tanaka Beard in overall rebounds. That would be cool. I have one more too. Maybe you have this as well. And I think we both have this, but I'm going to steal it. He leads the way on a team that does the only thing that this program has never done: win an NCAA tournament game. Tyson Degenhart is the best player on the floor in the biggest moment in the history of this program, and no question. I don't even care if it's a first 4 game. If this team wins a game in the NCAA tournament, Prater, I don't know what else there would be at the top of the mountain. I think that's it. And if he leads the way, I mean, that just adds to what will be one day the legacy and the legend of T. Deggy.
I don't think he even needs to lead the team. He just has to be on a team that wins it. And if he's part of a team that wins an NCAA tournament game, then he gets that benefit of that boost. If he does all these other things as well. So absolutely has to win an NCAA tournament game to get that. I mean, the other ones didn't: Childs, Jones, Berto, and Beard. So you can't be hypocritical and say that it's required. But if he's going to separate himself from that second tier of Pac players, then I think he needs to win an NCAA tournament game. And then I put a modern spin on mine. He needs to continue to be a name, image, and likeness star. He needs to take Boise State to the levels that it's never seen in terms of name, image, and likeness. Tyson Degenhart and Taylor Green right now have something in front of them that has never, ever been an opportunity for a Boise State athlete. And they have all the skills, all the requirements. I talked about the connection to the community, the connection to the fan base, and some of these Boise State athletes that haven't had that. Tyson Degenhart has that. Taylor Green has that. And they need to be difference makers. When they leave here, they need to be making $30, $40, $50, $100,000 a year and driving Jaguars when they leave here. I want that kind of a difference. Name, image, and likeness is the biggest factor in terms of success in college athletics moving forward. And if you're not going to get name, image, and likeness and collective money in the millions, you're not going to win any sporting event moving forward. It's that important. It's all about the talent. It's all about the players. And I think Taylor Green and Tyson Degenhart have a responsibility to go out there and push. And to their credit, they're doing it a lot by themselves. They've got the power of a Boise State athletic department that thinks name, image, and likeness is highly, highly important. And they're good at it. And they're pushing the initiative. The bad part is nobody's responding until today. They got a couple $100,000 donation today into their collective. That's first and far between. Tyson Degenhart, go out there and make a difference in name, image, and likeness, and you will be a rock star.
Prater wants you driving a Jag, Tyson. I love it. Rolling around town. And you know what? Hopefully he can. All right. Now, I didn't really put that on my list, but you're right. Him just elevating that NIL persona and taking advantage of those opportunities will add to his legacy. And when you're sitting at the bar, you're hanging out with your buddies, and you're talking Boise State hoops and really the best players that they've ever had. I think if he stays healthy and he stays with this program, Prater, I think the future is as bright as any sophomore who's ever played here at Boise State, right?
I would think so.
I mean, dude.
I wouldn't put him ahead of anybody, but I would certainly put him on the list.
Yeah. Tyson Degenhart. What do you guys think? 208-424-9300. Do you see Tyson Degenhart becoming, in that class? And what does he have to do for you to join us. Does he have to win a Mountain West Player of the Year award? Good stuff right there. And coming up, what are your thoughts? Tiger Woods is playing. I think he's on the course still as we speak. He's back. He's in his mid-40s. He's had health issues. Can he win another tournament? Do you care? Prater and JP, some golf aficionados here. We got some good opinions on this. Stick around for it. Don't miss this segment. It's Prater in the Ballgame.